What a roller coaster ride it was at the finals of the Skilling Open 2020. Both the players kept on making mistakes throughout the rapid games. After the equal scores on day 1, Carlsen started day 2 with the win in the first game, and then Wesley came back strongly with the win in the second game. Well, again, third game was with ups and downs, which got ended in a draw, and in the fourth game with white pieces, Carlsen surprised everyone with his quick draw-oriented play. Well, it might have been his strategy to take the finals into the tiebreakers the way he went on to win in the World Championships of 2016 and 18. It was birthday of our World Chess Champion, but his opponent Wesley wasn't that interested in gifting him the championship. So let's have a quick look at the decider of the Blitz tiebreakers.
Wesley so started the game with e4, c6, Caro-Kann defense from Carlsen. Let's see. And after this, Wesley made very much ambitious choice. He played advanced variation of Caro-Kann defense, very much space-oriented line. Let's continue. Bishop f5, knight f3, bishop e2 was played by Wesley. Now this is named after Nigel Short, Grandmaster Nigel Short. He used to play this line with short castle. White keeps his plan secret. He either can play on the king side, at the same time he can play on the queen side, and that will be endgame oriented, no doubts about that. Carlsen made the choice knight e7. Earlier this year, Wesley had played nd2, but in this game he had a different plan. He played a4. No doubts, he had a plan to undermine black's pawn structure with a5 and a6 idea. And we know afterwards black would like to have break with c5, would like to create counterplay on the queen side. So queen b6 will be one of his ideas. And let's see, in case he goes for nd7, there can be a5 coming in, and the idea is a6 to disrupt black's pawn structure. Let's move on to the original game. Here, Carlsen went on to play a5. Now, this was very much intended to stop this pawn on a4, but we have to notice that when black will try for c5 break, there will be a weakness on d5. So Wesley will try for advantage with bishop b5 check sort of ideas. Let's move on to the game. In the game, Wesley played nd2, knight d7, knight d3, and here Carlsen took his bishop back on the diagonal. Very much prophylactic move. In case of knight h4, there will be direct attack on bishop. So let's move on. Bishop d2. Now this is on target. This pawn is going to be targeted in future course of the game as well. Let's see. Carlsen came up with queen b6. He is pretty much focused on the c5 break to undermine the pawn on e5. Here we can notice this. h3 from Wesley. Well, there can be a different plan of g4 sort of idea. Is in case black's knight comes on f5, g4 will be a good move. Or there can be knight h2, idea f4 and rolling with the pawns on f5, f6 sort of ideas. Carlsen continued with knight g6. Well, there could have been an interesting plan of g5, g4, and there could have been rook sort of ideas employed by black. But that looks very much more ambitious for Carlsen, so he continued with knight g6, very much simple. And here, our champion of the day came up with the first direct threat of the game. Can you play like him? Wesley played queen e1. Now 3 attacks on the pawn on a5. So Carlsen had to continue with bishop b4. Now here, Wesley went with bishop b4. Now in case of a into b4, there could be a5 coming in. Now this simply wins pawn on b4 because black's queen will have to run away from defending the pawn on b4. That means it was forced to take with the queen. So queen takes queen came in. After pawn takes queen. Now here Wesley went with very simple bishop d3 because there could have been knight f4 coming in like this. Well, this was very interesting position, very much important, and we could feel the intensity level. because can you believe the Magnus Carlsen, the world chess champion, thought for 48 seconds here. Let's see if Carlsen could go with simple short castle. There could be a5 coming up with our a4 idea, and let's see in case of b6, a b6, knight b6, and white will be very strong indeed with the knight's outpost on the c5 square. After deep thoughts, Carlsen continued with c5. Now we can see for this move b5 is already weakened, so bishop b5 could have been played easily. Instead, Wesley went with knight takes c5, knight takes c5, pawn takes c5. Now yes, Carlsen will be very much interested to take the pawn on c5, so he played rook a5, and there came the intermezzo, defending the pawn, and this is very solid structure which looks unbreakable. So here forced king e7. After being pawn up, Wesley had a simple plan. He played re1 to support the pawn on e5 and so as to free his knight for knight d4 sort of ideas. Carlsen continued with rook c8. Here we go. Your time starts now. Let's play like Wesley so. In the game, Wesley played very interesting c3. Well, there could have been knight d4 as a very stronger move. In case of rook c5, there comes striking move knight b3, the fork on both the rooks. In the game, after c3, Carlsen had to take this, and it was obvious that Wesley will not capture on c3, but he made strongest move of the game b4. Look at the pawn structure. Very well combined and marching towards the coronation, three pawns together, forcing black to play rook a8. Now there are various choices including knight d4 and several more, but in the game Wesley played very simple rook a c1, idea to take pawn on c3, and there could have been c2 sort of tricky moves. But in the game Carlsen played knight f4. Yes, he wants to create counterplay on the king side so as to divert Wesley from pushing these three pawns forward. So rook takes c3 was very simply played by Wesley. There came bishop e4. Carlsen wants to distract Wesley from pushing these three stronger pawns on the queen side. So he wants to create some counterplay with the pieces on the king side. Obviously, he's going to push his pawns forward. f6, g5, some sort of ideas will keep on coming in future course of the game. Let's move on. So a5 was played by Wesley. f6, counterplay from Carlsen to make it complicated. Now here, the move I liked was bishop f1. Now this move will support pawn on h3, at the same time will look for g3, and it keeps it very secure for Wesley. But instead, he played h4. The idea was very simple, again to play g3 in a different way because the pawn is safe, so he can simply play g3. One more rock style move from Carlsen, g5. Now g3 was played in the game. Carlsen takes his knight back to target e5 and forcing Wesley to exchange. Check. Retakes, one more exchange. In this way, it looks like everything is simple. Let's have a look at the material. White is still a pawn up and his pawns on the queen side, they are very strong indeed, and it's the same color bishop ending as well. That means this is going to be 100% win for Wesley if he comes up with the right plans. Let's see what can be good plans for him. So he could continue with rook e3, somehow to make this bishop move with knight d2 sort of ideas. At the same time, there can be doubled rooks. They can be very strong indeed on the e line. There can be direct rook into e4 as well. But in the game, instead of rook e3, Wesley went on to play knight h2. Now this looks to be an inferior move. Carlsen looks for comeback. Knight e5. Rook e3 was played in the game. And there came rook h8. Very strong indeed. Now the game started becoming interesting with the ideas on the h file. And let's see, was g4 playable? So in case of g4, if Carlsen takes, king takes, knight takes, Okay, king g3, knight takes rook, pawn takes knight, and now material is equal. But let's see the space advantage with white side. The rook is quite strong, forcing king on the back foot, and pawns they're still very much stronger in same color bishop endings, which may give white the winning chance till last moment. So the idea of g4 will be to give king space on g3 square. In the game, Wesley made a huge blunder, f3. And here, Carlsen came back strongly with rook takes knight. You can see the idea, the other rook is going to follow up with the plans. So king takes was forced, knight takes f3. After rook into knight, Carlsen got the return of exchange. After bishop into, now still the game is interesting, but it's very much a drawn game. Let's see. In the game, Wesley played c6. Well, in the live stream of the game, I was thinking to play rook f1, but c6 was very much tempting when it tested Carlsen in the real game because Carlsen was very much down in time. Usually, as we talked, his opponents they are found in this condition. But in this game, Carlsen's body language was also very much down. He was looking tired, and in the clock as well, he had very less time left. And Carlsen could have simply captured, and let's see, after bishop takes, he could play rook a7. It's difficult for Wesley to continue with pawn's advancement because of the a6 square is not controlled by whitehead. At the same time, Carlsen could go for drawish ideas with rook h7 check. Instead, Carlsen went on to play very much ambitious d4. Now you can see bishop's diagonal is open to control the pawn. There can be some ideas coming with d3. At the same time, e5 pawn push can be there on the board. Yes, and rook is still free to come up with some ideas on the 8th rank. And here, Wesley made the winning move, rook f1. Yes, now everything is going to be forced for Carlsen. Let's see, in case of just g4 supporting bishop, there could be rook takes bishop, pawn takes, and there can be simple win. One of these two pawns is going to get promoted, either a6, a7, and there can be easy pawn promotion in just 2-3 moves for white. That means it was forced for him to play rook h8 check. And after king g1, it was forced to continue with rook h1. And after king f2, what are the choices left with black? Could he play bishop into c6? Well, there can be bishop into c6. And after rook takes rook check, king takes rook. And after this final recapture, the a6 pawn push is going to roll to the coronation in just 2 moves. It means it was forced for Carlsen to play rook takes rook, and there came the winning move, bishop into rook, keeping attack on this hanging bishop. Forces black to take bishop into pawn, and one more tempo with b5, forcing bishop to go back. One more pawn push, and after capture, recapture, the pawn is going to go through to the coronation 8 square. So let's see, in case black could try with bishop c6, there will be bishop g2 coming in, controlling the diagonal and trading the bishop off to control the coronation square, that's 8 square. With just a little threat, Carlsen played d3, bishop takes d3, king e5 was played, a7 came in. Now after bishop c6, white continued with bishop f1. The idea, we know, bishop g2, and in the game, king d6 was played, and after bishop g2, eventually Carlsen resigned. That's it. So in this way, Wesley so took 1-0 lead in the blitz tiebreakers. And in the second blitz tiebreaker, yes, there was a great chance for Carlsen to win that game, but Wesley came up with beautiful defenses to hold Carlsen for a forced draw, and in that way, Wesley emerged as a champion of the Skilling Open 2020. So let's congratulate our deserving champion of the day. Congratulations, Wesley So.